When your new baby won't stop crying, despite checking the usual hunger, tiredness, and discomfort signs, it can leave you feeling totally helpless and at a loss as to what to do. But don't give up hope, because today in this video I'm going to share my top techniques for calming crying babies that I have used for 40 years as a Norland nanny. These super techniques have helped countless families over the years, but in order for them to work, you need to know one thing: that every baby is unique and that they all have unique preferences when it comes to what suits them. That is why it's important that you listen to all of the solutions so that you can choose the one that works best for your baby. So let's get into it. So here are my top tips to calm a crying baby. Number 1 is change location. Young babies are easily overstimulated and overwhelmed by auditory and visual stimuli. So by reducing the input of these, you can quickly calm your baby down. Now, this is obvious when you're in a room full of people with bright lights and it's noisy, but the same can occur at home, especially at the end of the day when life tends to get a bit hectic and chaotic. Sometimes just moving your baby to a quieter part of the house can do the trick. However, if your baby is crying and you're in a relaxed environment, they may need a complete change of scenery as a reset. In cases like those, I suggest that you take your baby for a stroll in the garden or put them in the stroller and go for a walk. You can even stand in an open doorway. If all else fails, you can fall back on the tried and tested going for a ride in the car. Tip number 2 is a warm bath and a massage. No matter what time of day, many babies find a warm bath very calming. And if you couple that with a gentle massage, you can be on to a surefire winner. My third tip is to go skin to skin with your baby. It has been scientifically proven that going skin to skin with your baby reduces cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone, increases oxytocin levels, which is the love hormone, and it is thought to reduce pain in your baby should they be feeling any discomfort. Of course, you can go skin to skin with your baby after a warm bath, but no matter what you're doing beforehand, that close contact with your bare skin helps regulate their body temperature, and they can hear your heart beating, which they will find really comforting. My favourite way of going skin to skin is to strip your baby down to their diaper and lay them on your bare chest. Place a blanket over you to prevent you from getting cold, and stay in that position until your baby has calmed down, or for as long as you feel comfortable. Number 4 is give your baby something to suck. Sucking is a great comforter for babies, so offering them a pacifier or their own fingers to suck on can be a really effective way of calming them down. And finally, we have swaddling. Most babies find a swaddle or a swaddle sleep sack really comforting when they are sleeping. However, you do not have to reserve this just for bedtime. You can swaddle at any time of the day. Swaddling helps to reduce the startle reflex and those jerky movements that new babies experience, especially when they are getting distressed. So, next time your little one seems to be inconsolable, try swaddling them. Hold them or lay them on your lap, and you might be surprised how quickly they calm down. Now that you know my tips for calming a crying baby, I want to remind you that crying is completely normal. You are never going to stop it completely. It is the way your baby communicates. However, this intense crying that new babies tend to experience starts at around 2 weeks of age. It peaks at around 6 to 8 weeks and then peters off at around 3 to 4 months. If, however, your baby is still experiencing these intense periods of crying beyond that time, then I would suggest that you seek medical advice just to rule out any underlying health condition that might be causing your baby discomfort. I do hope you found this video helpful and that you now have choices in how you deal with your crying baby and more confidence in how to deal with this very tricky period. Thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Your support is always greatly appreciated.